Hello everyone, my name is Arvind Kumar, working as a junior basis administrator in Codeplexus Private Limited. In this video, we are going to see how to create two-factor authentication for SAP NetWeaver Java systems. In previous video, we have seen some examples. In this video, we will see another few examples for creating two-factor authentication for SAP NetWeaver Java systems. Examples: setting up login with password and a passcode according to the policy scripts. Here we will see some scenarios. Kumar is an administrator at Codeplexus Private Limited. He has an application protected with username and password, and he wants to add a passcode as a second factor. The users in Germany should authenticate with a password only, while other users outside of Germany should authenticate with password and the passcode. Now Kumar should do some following configurations in SAP NetWeaver Java systems. First, he need to log in with hostname and the port, the https/hostname and port/NWA. In that page, choose configurations, under that authentications and single sign-on. In authentication components, and replace the basic password login module with TOTP login module in that authentication stack of the application. On the one-time password administration UI, HTTPS, that is HTTPS, hostname and port name, we need to log into settings tab. Specify the basic password login module in first factor login module field. Select policy checkbox in order to activate the policy, and log on to policy script administration console, that is HTTPS hostname port/SSO-admin/scripts. So we need to create some policy scripts in that page. So following is a procedure to create the scripts. First, function on first stage login, and this is the following script that can be enable the passcode script. On the one-time password administration UI, settings tab, below the two-factor authentication section will be appear. Press the policy script button and choose the policy script that was created before. Save the configurations. Once this configurations has been completed, all the users from Germany will be able to log on with their user login ID and password, while others users log in with their basic credentials and a passcode. Example 4. Protecting the default ticket authentication template with two-factor authentication using one-time password. Kumar is an administrator at Codeplexus Private Limited. He wants to configure the system to require authentication with two-factor when accessing application protected with ticket authentication template. Now Kumar has to do following things: configurations in the system. First, he need to log into the system as administrator and navigate to the configurations tab and authentication and single sign-on. Authentication in that page, authentication tab, under that components, filter the type template and choose the policy configuration with the name ticket. Replace the basic password login module with TOTP module in the authentication stack of the application. Note: if there are login modules with the requisites or required flags below the TOTP login module, change the flags to sufficient. On the one-time password administration UI, that is HTTPS hostname is to port SSO-admin/OTP. In that page, settings tab, specify the basic password login module in the first factor authentication login module field. Save the configurations. Once this configuration is saved completely, all the employees of Codeplexus Private Limited will be able to log in to any application protected with ticket templates. For example, the portal page with one-time password in addition with the username and password. This example using RBA login module to protect the portal page with basic password login module as first factor and SAML2 login module as a optional second factor. Kumar is an administrator at Codeplexus Private Limited. He has a portal application protected by a default ticket authentication template, which authenticates the user via SAP logon tickets or via basic authentication. For using matching certain criteria, Kumar wants to configure the system to require SAML2 authentication after the successful basic authentication as a first factor. Now Kumar has to do some configurations to achieve this. RBA login module.log on the SAP NetWeaver administrator. Now log into the system as by giving the host name is to port in the web search and navigate to configurations tab. Then authentication and single sign-on and authentication tab under that components. Filter for type templates and choose the policy configuration with the name ticket. Make sure that authentication stack has following login modules and login modules option. First one, evaluate ticket login module with sufficient flag, and second one, RBA login module with flag requisites and the following login module options. tfa.first.factor.login.module with a value basic password login module, and second one, tfa.second.factor.login.module with value of SAML2 login module. Now third option, create ticket login module with a flag optional. Log on the policy scripts administrator console by giving hostname and port /SSOadmin/scripts. Now in this page we need to create the scripts by typing them procedure for SAML2 authentication. Create a policy scripts of type procedure that checks if SAML authentication is required depending on the user attribute defined in the policy script. So in the policy script we need to write the authentication templates. We need to declare the function as disable mobile SSO. In that function, logger, login now, info and config. Second, we need to declare second factor. If login info, then the second factor equal to SAML2 login module, else second factor equal to evaluate ticket module login. Config.set private property as give the tfa second.factor.login.module as second factor, and second function on initialize config and context, and we need to write all these scripts to achieve the second factor SAML2. On the one-time password administration tab, settings tab, below the two-factor authentication section, press the policy scripts button and choose the policy script that was just created and save the configurations. Once this configuration is completed, all the employees of the company will be able to log on to any application protected with the ticket template with a basic password login module as first factor and optional with SAML2 login module before SAML2 is required as a second factor. The policy scripts verifies if the second factor is required for this specific users. Depending on a user attribute defined in the policy script, if it is not required, the user is able to log in only with the username and a password. If the second factor is required, then SAML2 login module is triggered. Thank you.